Hi, everyone. I'm Emma, Lumen's community manager. And for today's episode, I'm joined by Lumen's co-founders, Drs Merav and Michal Mor. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you, Emma.
So you two are both PhDs in physiology, and you have spent your careers studying metabolism. And I just want to, start off this conversation today with giving a disclaimer that all of the information here is not medical advice. And before you change anything in your routine, it's important to consult with your practitioner. So today we're talking about something that we're hearing everywhere right now. It's a big buzzword, and that's GLP-1s. So GLP-1, weight loss medication, Ozempic, Wegovy, these are things that are buzzing around the health and wellness space a lot right now. Mm-hmm. And we know that GLP-1s are powerful, but the science is pretty clear that without the right lifestyle interventions, people can regain the weight that they've lost, and the effects are not long lasting. So today we're going to talk about why Lumen changes that, and let's get into it. Let's start at the beginning. So they're everywhere, like we said. Michal, tell us why Lumen is entering the conversation now.
Because GLP-1 has real advantages, but they work best when they are supported with the right lifestyle habits. And unfortunately, many people aren't aware of that yet. And we see it. We see that more and more people that are struggling with weight loss, especially around appetite control and food noise, are turning to GLP-1s. But that is totally makes sense. But here's what nobody tells them. If you're only going to eat less, then yes, you're going to lose weight. But mostly from muscle, not fat. And as we already know, muscles are packed with mitochondria. So, less muscles means fewer mitochondria. Fewer mitochondria leads to metabolism slowdown and a body that gets progressively worse at burning fat. So, the result is that once you're going to stop the medication, you're going to gain all the weight back. But this time from fat. So basically, you replace muscle tissue with fat tissues.
And this is not just theory. There's actually very strong scientific evidence for it. A recent meta-analysis looked on 18 randomized clinical trials, examined what happens after people stop taking the medications. Mm-hmm. And what the researchers found was very consistent. Once the medication stops, many of the metabolic benefits actually begin to reverse. So on average, people with obesity regained about 5 to 6 kilos. And researchers also observed increase in weight circumference, blood sugar, and blood pressure. And additionally, very important observation was that the rebound tends to increase over time. Means the longer the follow-up after stopping the medication, the more weight people tended to regain. So it's super, super interesting and emphasize the importance to support GLP-1 medications with lifestyle support. Additionally, other studies show that around half of the lost weight can return within a year if nothing changes. So the takeaway is that GLP-1 medications, they work. Absolutely, they do. The takeaway is that they work best when they are combined with the right lifestyle and metabolic support. And that's exactly what Lumen provides, right? Daily metabolic feedback that helps people protect their metabolism, maintain muscle, and turn short-term weight loss into long-term results.
So if you're already taking GLP-1s or you're thinking about taking GLP-1s, it's not that you need to decide between the tools that you're using for weight loss, but actually we can think about stacking them.
Exactly.
So GLP-1s can handle the food and the appetite control portion, whereas Lumen can help handle the metabolism and the long-term benefits. And like you said, it's not just a theory either, right? And Lumen actually has our own real world data about Lumen users who also use GLP-1. So Merav, walk us through what that data found.
Yes, and this is something we were very, very excited to analyze. We conducted a large real world analysis of more than 7,000 Lumen users who reported using GLP-1 medications, and we followed their data for up to 6 months. And what we saw was very consistent pattern. When GLP-1 therapy was combined with metabolic tracking, users showed improvement not only in weight, but also in several key metabolic and behavioral markers. So first, body weight was decreased for about 4% at 12 weeks and about 5.6% at 24 weeks. And more importantly, the weight reduction was accompanied with a reduction in fat mass. So they lost about 6 to 8% over the same period. And what I find very, very interesting is the behavioral change. We observed almost 16% increase in daily steps.
16%?
16. It
Wow.
means roughly 1,000 additional steps per day. And the number of monthly workouts per week also almost doubled during the same period. And last, I think, and this is what the uniqueness of Lumen is that we show an improvement of almost 30% in the flex score, and we know the flex score actually reflects metabolic flexibility, right? The body ability to switch efficiently between fat and carbs. And there was, again, an improvement about 30% on the same period. So what this tells us is that when people combine GLP-1 therapy with real-time metabolic feedback, they are not just losing weight, they are also improving their metabolism and changing their daily behaviors in a way that supports long-term health. And that's exactly the synergy we are aiming to create with Lumen.
And this is exactly how long-term results looks like. So the GLP-1 help you to reduce appetite. Lumen make sure that you're going to lose fat, not muscle, and make sure to protect your metabolism. And together, as Merav mentioned, they delivered that long-term results. So the goal here is not to lose weight fast. The goal here is to lose weight in a way you protect your metabolism in order to achieve those long-term results. So if you are on GLP-1, don't do it on guesswork. Make sure that your body losing fat, not muscles. Make sure you protect the foundation of your body, which is your metabolism.
Some of those numbers you mentioned, Merav, are, like you said, quite exciting. I mean, the reduction, of course, in body weight is exciting for the individual, and the reduction in body fat and not muscle. But the increase in steps for me, that was amazing.
Yeah.
To increase your steps by 1,000 steps a day, think about that. That's 7,000 steps a week. That's huge. And I think that just really goes to show that the lifestyle changes that Lumen can help our users to implement can be so significant. So let's make this practical. Michal, walk us through how the GLP-1 support program looks in the Lumen app.
Sure. So the Lumen GLP-1 support program is first of all built around what matters the most when you are on GLP-1s. So it's focused on 5 key pillars.
Okay.
1, daily nutrition guidance that's designed to protect your muscle. So because, as we mentioned earlier, appetite is lower when you are on GLP-1 medication. This is why it's especially important to consume an adequate amount of protein and nutrition quality. So here, Lumen provide you with a daily macro guidance, with focus on protein to make sure you're not losing muscles during the weight loss journey. And in addition, Lumen lets you easily track after your daily macros using voice or image recognition. But the most important thing here is the everyday Lumen guides you to take a breath measurement to confirm that your nutrition plan is actually working for you. So you might get insight like, great, you are in fat burn today, or your body is locked on carbs today, let's make some adjustment, or pay attention, you are in a muscle breakdown alert, this is time to eat.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and this is super important because to know when to eat, specifically when you're under GLP-1 medication, because one of the main problem is, as Michal mentioned, muscle breakdown.
Second key pillars is a smart workout guidance in order to keep your muscle strong. So strength workout becomes even more important when you are on a weight loss journey, and therefore Lumen connects with more than 100 of fitness apps, including Garmin and Apple Watch, to track your activity and be able to provide you with personalized workout guidance. In addition, Lumen provide you with the breath measurement that we all know around workout in order to make sure that you are fueling and that you are recovered properly from the workout. So here we have the pre-workout breath that helps you confirm that you have enough fuel to support the workout, which is especially important when you are on GLP-1 because, as we mentioned earlier, GLP-1 suppress appetite. Therefore, undereating becomes a real risk. The second breath is the post-workout breath, which provides you with what you should eat after the workout in order to best support recovery and rebuilding. So in order to make sure your workout actually translates into muscle preservation and muscle building. And the third pillar is education. So users receive targeted education content that explain what is happening in their body, what to expect when they are on GLP-1, and how to support their body through the process. And the fourth, and obviously one of our favorite, is community for a proper support. Because we are guide users to join into a dedicated GLP-1 community inside the Lumen app, where they can have conversation with others, people that are on the same journey as they are. They're able to ask questions and to share their experience and learn from others. And finally, pillar number 5, which is reminders. Because consistency, especially when you are on GLP-1, is everything. So Lumen provide you with smart reminders that keeps users on protocol. So the goal of all of those 5 key pillars is to support fat burn, to have muscle preservation, to protect against metabolic slowdown, and to ensure long-term weight loss without the rebound that might accompany to that.
Yeah.
So let's go over those pillars from the beginning. We have nutrition plan, we have workouts, and I think you gave a really great explanation for how the nutrition plan and the wake-up breath really help you to go on with your day and what choices to make and how Lumen will help you with that. And for the workout guidance, you gave a great example of how to use the pre and post workout breaths around your workout to know what kind of workout to do if you have flexibility, or to know whether or not to have some carbs before the planned workout that you had. So those are really important. And then we talked about education, community support and reminders. And Merav, talk to us a bit more about those last 3, about the education, the community support, and the reminders, and how Lumen's GLP-1 support program built those into it.
Sure. So I think that when we talk about the Lumen support program, it's very helpful to think about it as a digital patient support program for metabolic health. So in medicine, patient support programs exist for a very, very simple reason. They help people stay engaged with the treatment, and more important, not less important, they help them to maintain the behaviors that makes therapies work over the long term. So, and that's exactly what Lumen does. The program combines behavioral support, personalized education, community, and lifestyle guidance, all actually designed to help users stay consistent and connected to their goals. But what really makes Lumen different is the metabolic feedback. So with a very simple breath measurement, users can see in real time whether their body is primarily burning carbs or fat and how their daily choices affect their metabolism. So that immediate real-time biofeedback on their metabolism actually helps them to take away the guesswork and get actionable and very impactful recommendations that help them toward their health. So, in a sense, Lumen is a complete digital engagement platform built around real metabolic data, helping people to turn short-term weight loss into sustainable metabolic health. And that's especially important when you're under GLP-1 therapy. So I would frame it that GLP-1 medications can reduce appetite, but they don't teach patients how to measure their metabolism. And Lumen provide that missing layer, continuous metabolic feedback that helps turn short-term weight loss into sustainable metabolic health. Exactly the synergy we are aiming for when we built the Lumen support program.
I'm so proud of this program and excited about this program because you two, as doctors and academics in the field, you've seen firsthand people that are using GLP-1s, they're losing the weight and they're gaining it back. They're getting frustrated. They feel like overwhelmed and they feel, it can be really hard on people. And so to provide them with this program, with the education, with the support layer, I think it's something that is so special about this program and so special about, Lumen and our mission to make people more metabolically healthy.
Definitely.
Thank you, Emma.
And I know we recently submitted a paper on what the additive value of a support program like this, the Lumen GLP-1 support program is. Can you tell us a bit about what we found in that study? I'm sure it's also quite exciting.
Yes, and this exactly connects directly to what I mentioned earlier about the Lumen support program functioning like a patient support program. So we recently submitted really exciting analysis about real-world data from over 2,200 Lumen users who reported using GLP-1 medications and followed their outcomes over 24 weeks. What we wanted to understand was whether engagement with the Lumen system means the device, together with the app and behavioral support, was associated with better outcomes. And what we found was super exciting. We found that engagement with Lumen matters. So users with lower engagement lost about 3.2% of their body weight, while highly engaged users lost about 5.2% over the same period. And more importantly, the weight loss was not the only thing they improved. We also observed a significant improvement in their metabolic flexibility, which is the Lumen Flex score. It actually tells us about the body's ability to switch efficiently between carbs and fat, which is a key marker of metabolic health. So users who engaged more consistently with Lumen showed greater improvements in the Flex score. And this is especially important for people using GLP-1 medications. So when appetite drops and caloric intake decreases, a portion of the weight loss can come from muscle tissue and not only fat. Now, muscle is are metabolically very, very active. It contains many mitochondria that helps the body burn fuel more efficiently. So improving metabolic flexibility helps the body continue using fat as a fuel while supporting a healthier metabolism, which is critical for maintaining results over time. And this is very consistent with what we see across medicine, right? So when people receive education, feedback, ongoing support, engagement improves and outcomes improves as well. So what Lumen adds is exactly that layer. Continuous metabolic feedback and behavioral support that helps people sustain the lifestyle changes needed alongside GLP-1 therapy. Now, GLP-1 medications can reduce appetite, but lasting results come from changing metabolism and behavior. Now, what Lumen does is give people the daily feedback that helps make those changes actually stick.
And like you said, I think it's really exciting, this whole engagement piece, because to give our users that empowerment to feel engaged with their health and with their body and to see the feedback in real time, it's really exciting, right? Because, GLP-1s are not a magic solution and Lumen is not a magic solution, but where sort of that magic happens is when you use both of them or when you use them together to help your body.
I like to think of it like, GLP-1 medications can change your hunger signals, but they don't change your body's nutritional needs. So you still need to support your body with key ways, right? One, you need to eat nutrient dense food. It's not just about eating less, it's about eating well. You need to get enough protein to help preserve muscle during weight loss. You have to include strength training. It's critical for maintaining muscle and healthy metabolism. And you need to follow a balanced nutrition plan that supports your metabolism over time. And of course, you have to stay in communication with your physician, specifically if you experience, any side effects. So we need to remember that GLP-1 can be a powerful tool, but lasting results come from combining them with the right lifestyle and metabolic support.
And this program, right, is the answer to that. It's to help with the lifestyle and the metabolic support. And, our mission at Lumen is to make people more metabolically healthy. We really recommend and we advise to use it with Lumen so that you can get the most out of your results and they can last. Because your metabolism, I like this saying of your metabolism is the foundation and everything else builds on top of that.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us. And for those of you at home, if you have any questions about the program, reach out to us via the in-app chat and our nutritionists will be happy to have a conversation with you. And it was a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to sit down and to talk with the two of you. And thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emma.